All right, so first play we're going to look at, 2nd and 2, one of the Patriots' first offensive plays.
What's going on, everyone? Mike Kadlick and Taylor Kyles here for CLNS Media. Back with another episode of the Patriots Daily Podcast here on the CLNS Media Network. Powered today by you guys, the members. It's a members show. It's our typical, usually Tuesday, now Wednesday, because the Monday Night Football game. Drake Maye breakdown, taking a look at just how Drake Maye continued to put himself back in the MVP conversation with his performance against the Giants on Monday night. We were supposed to be at 1 o'clock. We had to push it an hour with good reason, guys. Taylor, do you want me to?
What's the reason? Oh, do you want me to do it?
I don't know. Yeah, okay. We have a very, very, very special guest coming up for the bye week on the show. Taylor, let him know who we got coming on the show tomorrow.
Mr. two-time Super Bowl champion, longtime team captain, and the number one center in your hearts. No disrespect, Garrett Bradbury, but is David Andrews. Got him on the show, had a long conversation. We tried to keep it to half an hour just to be mindful of the guy's time, but he was very, very generous with us. Gave us about an hour, so I can't wait for that one to drop. It was a blast to record, so we are sorry we had to push this back 2 times. We were just like, what did we cut David Andrews short? Yeah. Absolutely not. So that went on long, but we do have a very fun episode today for you all, breaking down Drake Maye, his ability to beat disguise coverage, show his maturity as a passer, and then tomorrow you have that David Andrews interview to look forward to.
Well, I was going to say, look forward to that. Turn on the notifications to check that one out. It was funny where we're sitting here texting each other behind the scenes like, we have the show cut on. Like, do we stop? Do we keep going? Like, do we push it? And we finally were like, let's just push for now. Like you said, we can't cut off David Andrews. He gave, like you said, a lot more time than we asked him for. He kept going. We didn't want to stop him. So we have about an hour, probably 15-minute long show tomorrow with David Andrews. So again, look forward to that. But today we break down the quarterback, Drake Maye. We know the stat line. You see it on the screen, but completed 77% of his throws, 282 yards, 2 touchdowns, a 126 passer rating. This was the 6th game for him this season with a passer rating of over or 125 or higher. So look, he continues to be the MVP. And that's kind of why I want to steer the conversation away from that here for a second. Before we break down 3 plays from Maye that Taylor looked at with the All-22 here. I know we've talked about MVP, and it's kind of gotten old. He's playing the best football in the league, yada, yada. Like, I guess my question now is Drake Maye just the best quarterback in football? And sometimes I say that and I laugh and I stop myself because you have Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen and Lamar and Matthew Stafford playing at an elite level. And it's also like, it's almost like it's a disrespectful to those guys to just throw Drake Maye into the mix here. But with the way he's playing, how consistently he's playing, leading the league in passing yards, as we know, despite not throwing for 300 yards. So like, he's just Mr. Consistent when you look at his game logs every single week. So I ask you, is Drake Maye already the best quarterback in football? And if not, where do you kind of slot him in with the rest of these guys in the league right now?
I think it would be disrespectful to say he's the best quarterback in the NFL because still I do think there are guys who have proven more and have been in the league longer and have kind of sharpened their games a bit more who are kind of being held back by their supporting cast a bit. Now, of course, the quarterback's job is to raise all ships, especially when you're talking about guys like Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, and all of that. But you also have to be realistic. And I think when you watch those teams, you're not thinking, oh, my God, Patrick Mahomes fell off a cliff. Or where is Josh Allen? Like, where has he gone? He's become this, he's regressed to evil Josh all the time. It's not even that. I think you really can just see, and we talked about this before, where, when you talk about the AFC playoff picture, there's some really good quarterbacks, just not a lot of great offenses. But if you want to talk about best young quarterback in the NFL, like guys who've only been in the league 2 or 3 years, I do think it's Drake Maye. I mean, we talk about it, but every week you see him improve his game, show so much maturity. Even when he's not perfect, there are still things that you can point to say, like the pocket presence for one. Or that was something that we criticized for multiple weeks when he was playing all these really tough defenses during that stretch in was it November? Is it early November? Yeah, November. Yeah. And we were honest about it because it needed to be fixed. He was putting himself in harm's way, taking negative plays unnecessarily. And that really hasn't been as much of an issue. So I think when you consider what he's doing right now, the situation around him where he doesn't have a run game to fall back on, disrespectful to, say that he doesn't have like a great supporting cast when it comes to receivers, because those dudes have been playing some great football for him. But he doesn't have a Jamar Chase. He doesn't have a Justin Jefferson, and he's able to distribute the wealth and keep this offense operating at a ridiculously efficient level. So best quarterback in the NFL? No, but he is, I think, the best young quarterback, like second or third year players. And he's also the AFC Offensive Player of the Week, which, according to Patriots Communications, is the first time a Patriot it's Drake Maye's first time receiving the award and the first time a Patriots won it since Dion Lewis in week 16 of 2017.
Holy shit.
You could have given me 40 guesses and I would have guessed it had been that long, and that it specifically would have been Dion Lewis when Tom Brady was on the team for another 3 years after that. So insane, but congratulations to Drake Maye, and a game that I think you look at it and you do say that was one of his best performances of the season, and just another feather in his cap for what we have kind of said. He's right back on that MVP trajectory, even if he has some pretty stiff competition.
100%. And I look at, his standing again in the league versus these young players, right? And when I think of the young first, second, third year guys, like, CJ Stroud came on really strong, right? I guess Brock Purdy, if you want to throw them, even though he's in like year 3 or 4 right now, but like he's ahead of all those guys. These groups of like the first round picks of the last couple of years, he is at the top of that. And I think one of the reasons why is exactly what we're going to break down here, which is his just comfortability in the offense. And, you mentioned it. I saw Giardi mentioned it a couple hours after us on here as well. Like, this was his most Tom Brady game, where he was in command of the offense. He was finding the right answers. He was diagnosing coverage. And as we're going to break down right here, he was moving defenders with his eyes and able to find the throws that he wanted to make against this Giants defense. So with that, we'll transition right to it. We have 3 plays here to break down for you from Drake Maye. First 2 are him really, again, using his eyes to manipulate. Third one, same thing, but also just a great throw to Kyle Williams on the sideline. Prize Picks, because this episode and every episode of Patriots Daily is brought to you by Prize Picks. It is the holiday season, the best time of year for sports. There's bowl games, basketball matchups, playoff pushes, and more. And while you and I are out here making decisions every single day, like what gifts to buy, what to eat, which games to watch, all that stuff, there's only one place where it feels good to be right, and that is Prize Picks. They have a new feature now on Prize Picks. It's called Early Payouts. So if your lineup gets off to a hot start, you may now have the option to cash out those winnings before the game even finishes. If your fantasy season already over, personally, my teams are all cooked. But on Prize Picks, I don't have to wait until the end of the year. You can play daily fantasy right now, right in the Prize Picks app. So don't wait. Download the app today. Use code CLNS, and you will get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Again, that's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. We have a third down conversion with a pump fake to Hunter Henry. Taylor, what did you see on this one from Drake Maye?
Yeah, so unfortunately, this was not a play that ended in a touchdown. The Patriots wound up having to settle for a field goal, but it was a really impressive rep from Drake Maye, especially in that scoring territory where we know they've had some trouble. And also, another theme of all these plays is Drake Maye just having a completely ice-cold pulse when he's going up against these disguised coverages. We've talked about it before, but it's so impressive to see him not be rattled by it. And not only that, but then to go on to read the defense, go through his progressions, make the smart play, and even create his own throwing windows, which is just something you don't expect from a second-year quarterback, especially one who last year just had to deal with so much just to keep himself alive. So going to dive into this one. This was a really fun play to watch. So first quarter, 11:38 in the game, 3rd and 4, again, in the high red zone for the Patriots. Now, New England is going to come out in a 3-by-1 look. You got Hunter Henry at the top of the screen as the isolated player. What that's going to do is help the Patriots get a decent idea of what this coverage might be, because you've got 3 receivers to the bottom of the screen right here. Stephon Diggs is number 3. Matt Collins is the number 2. Kayshon Boutte all the way on the outside. Now, as you can see, the Giants are showing a cover 0 look. So the way that they're presenting this, it looks like you have man coverage across the board and potentially a mismatch right here with Stephon Diggs against a safety. Again, this is why you want to use this look where you kind of displace people from where they usually are, because the tight end, as you can see, is covered by a wide receiver. So you really are thinking this is going to be some kind of 0 with a mismatch, or maybe the sky zone. And if you're thinking the sky zone, you wouldn't be far off. But one sec, because we also have to acknowledge that the Giants have 7 men up front potentially blitzing, right? So you got 7 guys on offense. The Patriots, as you can see in this clip, first you have Travion Henderson right next to Drake Maye. What he's going to do is move him up into the A gap because they are trying to get big on big. They want to get Travion Henderson blocking this linebacker with the number 4 above him. And I honestly still don't love how this ends up turning out if it were an all-out blitz, because you would have 1 free rusher, right? So you have the 5 offensive linemen, Travion Henderson, that's 6. Usually when you're throwing in and there's an unblocked rusher, you'd like to throw to where they are because it can lead to unblocked hits. Like, you're not looking, you try to throw, that guy gets on you, you have no idea you're going to get strip sacked. So I have a small issue with that, but everything ends up working out. I don't want to harp on that too much, but the Giants, again, are showing cover 0 and all-out blitz with man coverage. But what they're actually running here is a cover 3 zone. So what's going to happen is you're going to get these 3 deep zone defenders. These 2 mug linebackers are going to pop out, and this safety right here, so he's not rushing, so it's not a problem, but he ends up dropping into zone coverage as well. Drake Maye is not going to get rattled by it, though. So as we see, once the ball is actually snapped, Drake Maye is initially, like I said, potential mismatch with Stephon Diggs. It looked like that safety was so far back. This stick route should be pretty easy for the Patriots, right? Because you got this guy clearing out space, Matt Collins in the flat. He should have it. Now, Drake Maye looks this way, I think, because this linebacker sprints to try to cover Stephon Diggs. He feels a little bit uncomfortable. I still think it's a makeable throw, but you can at least understand why he decides to come off of it. So he goes from the left side of the field, moves to the right so he can hit Hunter Henry on the backside dig, but sees that you've got underneath zone defenders in the area who could potentially make a play on the ball if he were to just throw it immediately. So what Drake is going to do, by the way, pristine pocket. And you saw a lot of these against the Giants, which we talked about how scary this defensive front was. You're going to see a lot of these kinds of pockets. Great job from the offensive line. So Drake is going to capitalize on that space and initially pump to Travion Henderson. So initially he looks, sees there's no one blitzing, pops out to become a check down option. Drake is going to pump there, and you see the effect it has on these 2 defenders. As you can see, their momentum is pulling them downhill. That's going to do is open up Hunter Henry. Drake Maye sees that, again, steps up into the pocket and is going to throw right behind this linebacker here because, again, you can see both those guys are trying to go to Travion Henderson for a stop. Right. Once the ball gets on Hunter Henry, again, you can see 2 defenders on Travion when he's just the check down and a tight window completion to Hunter Henry. And I actually want to show you the end zone angle. It makes this even more impressive. You can appreciate the tight window that Drake was throwing into. I need to get that bug worked out.
It's all good.
And we are back. All right, so we got the completion of Hunter Henry, but looking at the end zone, again, even more impressive. Hunter Henry goes down a couple yards after he makes the catch. So you see here, this is when Drake Maye pumps it. And you see, gets the linebacker to sprint, creates a little bit of a throwing lane behind him. Drake Maye stepping up. Even Dexter Lawrence tries to get a hand up thinking the ball's going his way. But no, sir, it is not. Goes right behind this linebacker. Like, there it is.
There's Look at that.
Also, and Drake Maye, if you notice, is not on the ground either.
Nope.
This man can just do whatever the hell he wants. So he throws this with no feet on the ground. I don't want to call it
looking at Henry. Is this a no-look pass?
So that's the thing. I think because of where Hunter is, he technically is looking at him, but he throws it across his body.
Yeah,
so he is looking, but make sure to put it past the linebacker because if he's throwing to right where he looks, there's a chance the linebacker can still make a play. Throws it behind his ear, and then Hunter Henry makes the catch with the safety right at the catch point. Tight window completion, really good concentration from Hunter Henry for the conversion. And again, want to comment on the offensive line because they did a really good job giving Drake Maye an area to step up and actually make this play and giving him time to get to the backside.
And we'll go right into the next one in a second, but kind of here building off it because it's the same concept, Hunter Henry as well. But I just think looking at this, when you look through it, like we know he's been awesome at what I said before, diagnosing defense, throwing to the right person, the open person, which Mike Vrabel keeps talking about, but his ability to like then make throwing lanes for himself or throwing options for himself, right? Because like even if he didn't pump fake to Travion hit there, he probably could have somehow squeezed it into Hunter Henry, understanding that, okay, he moved the linebacker to the left. There is going to be a pocket if I can put some touch on it and throw it over the middle to him or what have you. But for him to look him off, pump it, and then get it to him and make the throw even easier for himself, that's like elite level stuff from a second-year player. So he does it again here as well on another play to Hunter Henry. So I'll let you take it away here and show us again.
Yeah, this play was very similar to the touchdown that we broke down last week where I did point out that Drake Maye used a pump fake to create even more space for Hunter Henry off of play action. Very similar concept here. So this is with just under 2 minutes left in the first quarter. 1st and 10. The Patriots going to go heavy and dial up play action. So you got Austin Hooper and Jack Westover at tight end, and Hunter Henry is actually a Z receiver here. Patriots love to use these kind of looks to get Hunter Henry involved downfield and give him some of these downfield opportunities. So you're going to get a scissors concept, which is this is the way that the Patriots like to attack one side of the field off of play action with their max protection schemes, give Drake Maye plenty of blockers against potential blitz or what have you. So you got Kyle Williams at the top running the clear out route, which is the post. That's going to create room, get this outside corner out of the way, and ideally clear out room for Hunter Henry on a sail route where he breaks inside and makes it look like he's going to run a crosser before going outside. Then Travion Henderson is going to fake a downhill run before leaking out into the flat. Now, this is another disguise from the Giants because they look like they're in a 2-high defense, but we're actually going to get a single high cover 3 zone with this safety in the post and this safety actually dropping to the hook curl zone. So he's basically trying to take away something to the intermediate part of the field while also having to respect a potential short throw, and that is what Drake Maye is going to take advantage of. So off the play fake, another pristine pocket for Drake Maye. As soon as he hits the top of his foot, he diagnoses the coverage, sees now it's single high, and this safety, again, he's dropped down and is in a position where he could potentially make a play if Drake Maye were to just hit that back foot and throw to Hunter Henry, who's about to run in this space behind him. Again, you got Kyle Williams clearing out this cornerback. He's not really going to be a part of the equation. So you can see right here, Drake Maye is going to pump towards Travion Henderson, and look at this defender's eyes. The safety is looking down that way, and he doesn't even bite down like we saw last week with the Bengals, where they just completely sold out and triggered downhill to try to take away that flat. It's similar here, but I think the Giants understood that they couldn't be that undisciplined, and he does stay at the sticks, right? Because he's thinking, all right, if they want to throw, they're probably going to do something around here. But that holds him and gives Hunter Henry the space he needs to attack this portion kind of closer to the 21 or to the 20-yard line. Drake Maye makes the throw, puts some air on it, and this guy is just too shallow to make a play on the ball. And you can see he's starting to try to bail back. But, sir, it's a little bit too late for you. Yep. Hunter Henry makes the catch, and both of these guys are still trailing. And great effort from Hunter as well. He was fighting his tail off to try to get in the end zone. Takes multiple Giants to actually bring him down. And, again, a really great effort from Drake Maye to create the throwing lane, then actually connect on the throw. And, again, Hunter Henry fighting for those extra yards that are always so critical and kind of gets lost in the stat sheet. And this play actually did set up an eventual score to Kayshon Boutte.
Good stuff from Drake Maye, Taylor. He continues to do it for us here. Omaha Steaks.
Whoop, whoop.
Omaha Steaks. Oh, there they are. There's the burger. Look at it on screen. Holiday hosting, unforgettable gifts, so much more that Omaha Steaks offers. They are the juiciest burgers, the coziest and most convenient comfort meals around. USDA certified steaks, chicken as well. They got it all. And now during their Sizzle All the Way sale, you get 50% off site-wide right now at omahasteaks.com. Plus, our listeners get an extra $35 off with promo code Patriots at checkout. They offer unrivaled quality and variety, and every bite is backed with their 100% guarantee. So save big on gourmet gifts today. Visit omahasteaks.com for 50% off site-wide during this Sizzle All the Way sale. And again, for our listeners, you get an extra $35 off the top right now with code Patriots at checkout. Terms apply. See site for details. Again, omahasteaks.com. Use code Patriots. Look, I don't want to try not to repeat myself, but it's kind of the same thing. It's just, I look at I feel like, I forget if I said it on this show with you or another show that I was a guest on, but you watch the second-year quarterbacks who are having success, which right now it's really only Drake and Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams' team is having success. He's doing a decent job running that Chicago offense. But when you watch them, I feel like they're kind of rushing to the line and they're trying to get the play clock going. And it kind of looks like organized chaos, and Caleb is a good enough athlete to kind of make a play and do something with it. But even Ben Johnson said this week, they're kind of winning in spite of their passing offense. When I look at Drake Maye, I see the complete command. He's leaned back in his stance like Cam used to be a little bit, where he's just like, I know what's going on. I'm like a maestro. He's sending guys in motion. He's pointing things out. He's making his alert. It's incredible to me how quickly he's picked this up. But then that's just the first part. The second part is what we're talking about here with the ability to, and this is where I'm repeating myself, but his ability to understand the system, but then also build off it and do this kind of shit on top of it, and move guys around and make things happen, and make the defense do what he wants them to do so that he can get a better play out of it. It's incredible. It really is.
And we talked about how Matt came into this system, and like from the first week of his career, it was the same thing where he looks like a field general, is pointing things out, making the adjustments. And against that Miami team where he just carved them up and did whatever he wanted.
Right.
And we talked about how, okay, that's what Mac Jones can do. Imagine what Drake Maye can do in this offense. And we know he's also smart. And week one didn't get that, obviously. It took a little while for this offense to really get going. But now that it feels like Drake Maye is comfortable and they're really just stacking, and he's just trying to cut out the things that he maybe hasn't done great, it's been incredible to watch, man. Like, this has been the kind of fun season that we were hoping for, but even still, he's blowing us away every week.
Never thought it was going to get to this level this early in his career and into just the second season like this. But the last one we have here for you guys is the Kyle Williams touchdown, the one that everyone flipped out about. Drake Maye is the best deep passer in football. Drake Maye, whatever you want to call it. He did it again, but to go a little deeper, obviously it's a great throw, great catch, whatever. But what did it look like from your point of view with the All-22, and how did the Patriots make this one happen?
Yeah, so this isn't even one that requires a whole lot of complex explanation, because it's a go ball. And at this point, I don't even know how impressed people are when Drake Maye does this kind of thing, because his first touchdown in the NFL was a very similar throw just to the other side of the field. So, I mean, it's crazy that we can break a play like this down and be like, oh, typical Drake, but that's where we're at. But anyway, 3rd and 8 situation. Per usual, the Patriots decide, oh, it's a long yardage situation. Yeah, we're going to go deep. We are not trying to get to the sticks. We're not going to be modest here. We're trying to go for the throat, and that's exactly what they do, and it ends up working. So the Giants are going to show another cover 0 blitz. This is something that I think the Patriots are going to continue to see until they find better answers, and I think they've shown in the past 2 weeks. But when the Giants showed cover 0 and didn't send it, Drake Maye made them pay. So what the Patriots are going to be running here to the front side is a dagger concept. So a switch release with Stephon Diggs. He's going to be the one running the clear out in the middle, kind of up the seam. Usually he's running a crosser. So sometimes that can create some conflict with middle field zone defenders because they don't know whether he's about to break inside. And that can create a bit of a lull that opens up this dig that we're going to get from Mac Hollins underneath. But Drake Maye is seeing, well, I'm not exactly 100% sure what this is, but I do know that you've got Kyle Williams with his sick release package in a one-on-one matchup coming in for Kayshon Boutte against press coverage with no safety help. And we saw this all the time in college. If you're going to give Drake the easy button and he trusts the guy outside to win deep, that's where he's going to throw. And that's what you're going to see here. Now, at first, it's Hunter Henry who's going to help out. This is going to be a max protection scheme. So everyone who's in the box is going to help out with pass pro. First, it's Hunter Henry blocking Brian Burns. And then you're also going to see here Ramondre Stevenson step up from kind of the side a little bit further up so he can block this safety, kind of like we saw a little bit earlier. Now, that guy's actually going to rush this time because the Giants are going to send 5. But really what the idea behind this rush is to use, and we've seen the Patriots do this. The safety is rushing the edge so that the quarterback can't get out of the pocket. And then the 4 other pass rushers, especially to the left, are going to run a twist. So they're trying to create some miscommunication with that new left side and get some pressure on Drake Maye and either collapse the pocket around him or force him into some kind of bad decision. And then to this side, instead of sending an all-out blitz, it's actually going to be cover 3. So this safety is going to bail all the way to the post, and then you're going to get these 2 defenders popping out. But like I said, that press man coverage on the top, that's not moving. That's exactly what it looks like, and Drake's going to make him pay. So Kyle Williams, filthy release off the line of scrimmage, shakes Paulson and Debo, wins almost immediately. And we've talked about it so many times where Drake Maye's thrown these, and it's if he's even, he's leaving. There's no even to this. Kyle Williams with a decisive win. Drake Maye with another beautiful pocket to work with. Morgan Moses helping out Hunter Henry on the edge with Brian Burns. And then Drake sees, all right, you got a post safety. You don't want to help out your cornerback on an island with the guy who runs a 4-3? Well, shame on you. Uncorks this one, puts plenty of air under it. Drake Maye's going to throw this one again. No even, he's leaving. He's throwing this, and Kyle Williams has a distinct advantage, the safety all the way over here. Kyle Williams, so again, look at where Drake's throwing this. Kyle catches this in the end zone, plenty of air under it. Could have been a little further away from the sideline because that wasn't, oh my gosh, why are you doing this to me? It wasn't necessary for him to be that far out and have to make that kind of toe tap that he does, Kyle Williams, but still, it's a deep pass, and you can only nitpick so much. This is still a really good deep pass from Drake Maye, and also great effort from Kyle Williams, who I joked with him about this in the locker room. Got to work on the late hands because he throws those hands up and he's kind of like taking multiple steps while still doing that. You want to be careful because if Paulson Debo's closer, that could have been a pass breakup. But when you clear the guy by like 2 or 3 yards, you're allowed to slow down a little bit at the top of the route. So showing the end zone angle of just how impressive this catch was, you can see that he's got the 2 feet down here, but then looking again at that other angle, he's caught it, gets the 2 feet down, and then actually looks like got this one down again before his knee hit. So really impressive sideline awareness from Kyle Williams, because think about Kayshon Boutte's first year, not having that awareness of the sideline, not capitalizing on opportunities and how far he's come now. But Kyle Williams, attention to detail, being aware of his field position, getting 2 feet down. This is a combination that could be nightmare fuel for opposing defenses. We've already seen, like, from Kyle Williams' first game in the NFL, it felt like defenses were aware of where he was and very rarely just left him on an island to do what he wanted. Like, you could feel there were some safeties shading to his side. Maybe this was a play where the Giants, one, weren't really expecting him to be on the field or didn't respect it because Drake and him haven't connected deep like this. I don't think that's going to happen again, because if you leave Kyle Williams on an island and this rapport continues to grow, you're basically giving up a touchdown, because Kyle Williams is going to have a quarterback who can give him enough air to run under the pass, continue to create separation, and then just run into the end zone.
And the best part, too, you talk about that and the rapport they can build. He was on the field, I think, because Kayshon Boutte got hurt the play before. And so the fact that Boutte goes down, Kyle Williams is out there, and Maye still sees the one-on-one and trusts him to go beat him, and they make it happen. That only gives him more confidence in Kyle Williams. It only gives Kyle Williams more confidence in Drake Maye. And again, not that he's going to pass Boutte on the depth chart and, he's gone, but it continues to build that so that can kind of be what turns into this 1-2 punch in the offense potentially for years to come. So
also, I'm pretty sure Kyle Williams, he now has two explosive touchdowns in his past 3 catches. Let me just double check to make sure. That is absolutely insane, and something where Kayshon Boutte's obviously kind of in that area as well, because every time he catches the ball, literally he has 3 catches in the past 4 weeks, and 2 have gone for explosive touchdowns.
That's funny. So again, it's what we talked about post game. It's what we talked about here a couple times. Just get the guy to get the damn ball in space, and he's going to make something happen. I think when these continue to happen, these long plays like this one, the one we saw against Tampa, it's only going to have more confidence in Drake, only more confidence in Josh McDaniels to call it for him, and then he can kind of build it himself and continue to be a playmaker in this scheme. And it won't just be the 1 catch, the 2 catch here. It could be 4, 5, 6 catches underneath, 10 yards, 15-yard, 20-yard chunk plays that turn him into an elite playmaker for this team. So awesome stuff. Good stuff from Kyle Williams. Good stuff from Drake Maye. Good stuff from Hunter Henry. And good stuff from Taylor Kyles. Breaking it down here.
Great stuff from Mike Kadlick, might I say.
Oh, thank you, Taylor. That's far too kind. But good stuff from all of us as the Patriots. Good stuff from the Patriots winning 10 games in a row here on the backs of their quarterback in Drake Maye. So that's going to do it here for our Drake Maye breakdown on the Patriots Press Pass channel. Today is Wednesday. This is going to drop tonight for everyone. It's on for members right now. And then Thursday, like we mentioned, David Andrews coming on the pod for a bye-week breakdown of the team. Super excited for that one. So make sure you keep it here. Rate, review, and subscribe to Patriots Press Pass. Like I said, this is an ad-free one because it's sponsored by members, but I will give Prize Picks just a quick shout-out. No full ad read because they're the best podcast sponsor out there. Use code CLNS, $50 in the lineups after you play $5. Not a real ad read, so not a real ad read. But
just acknowledging our friends.
Exactly. Yeah, they're the ones that power the show, so we got to give them some love. But at any rate, that's going to do it here. Keep it here for everything. David Andrews Thursday, more stuff Friday going into the weekend, into the bye week, and then all of a sudden it's right back to it against those Buffalo Bills. So good stuff, Taylor. And until next time, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. And we will see you very soon. Peace out, everyone.
Mwah!